Sensex and Nifty have closed at record highs. Telecom shares have rallied on relief measures that have been announced by the government. The Indian equity benchmark surged to record highs. This was, of course, led by gains in Bharti Airtel, Infosys, Tata Consultancy Services, State Bank of India, NTPC and HCL Logistics. So the Sensex rose as much as around 530 points to hit a record high of 58,777. Nifty 50 above the important psychological level of 17,500 as well for the very first time. Meanwhile, breaking news that's coming in on the broadcast this evening. Tata has submitted a bid for Air India. This has just happened. Vishnu joins us with the very latest. Vishnu, what more can you tell us?
Well, the government has now confirmed, the Disinvestment Ministry has now confirmed that in fact the final bids for the disinvestment of Air India, the proposed sale of Air India, the national carrier, have now been received. They were received by 5 p.m. That's when the Tatas submitted their bid. The other bid that was received is, we are told, from SpiceJet. We believe from SpiceJet. It is seen that it is believed that these are the two primary bidders, if perhaps the only bidders towards the possible sale of the airline. Today was the deadline. The new Minister of Civil Aviation made it clear that this would not be extended. Now, earlier on, there was a similar exercise in 2018. The goal was to offload 76% by the government. That was unsuccessful because there was no bidder which was finalized. This time around, the centre is planning to sell 100% stake in the airline and Air India Express, which is its low-cost arm, along with 50% in the ground handling company that's called Air India SATS. If it all does go through, and Air India also has a lot of value in property that it owns in Mumbai, at the airline's house in Delhi, that will all be part of the deal. If it does happen, then it would mean that India's loss-making national carrier will be privatized. Perhaps one of the strongest bids is that of the Tatas. We, of course, have to wait and see what finally happens. But remember, Air India International began with the Tatas. It then became nationalized and became a part of the government of India. In fact, as I speak, Ajay Singh, the CEO of SpiceJet, has mentioned that he has also submitted his bid. So there are two bidders now. There was a worry at one stage that it would go down to a one-bidder situation, which would be problematic. But with two bidders now being announced, the government will judge the viability of each bidder before going ahead. The government is absolutely clear on this. The previous Civil Aviation Minister, Hardeep Puri, had said that Air India had accumulated a debt of a whopping 60,000 crore rupees, and that this debt was untenable for the government to maintain. At the same time, Air India has immense value. It has control over 4,400 domestic, 1,800 international landing and parking slots at domestic airports, and 900 slots abroad. They've also got property abroad. So there is immense value in the national carrier. The question is, will this debt, can it be retired, and can this airline, which is such a legacy of industry in India, and in a sense of what India, or how India is seen internationally, the flag bearer of India, will this again be profitable? Remember, Air India was perhaps the finest airline in the world in the 60s and in the early 70s.